Welcome to the Artificial Intelligence, Generative Artificial Intelligence Research, and more. This is your Professor Atif Reed Muhammad. In this discussion, we will look at a brief overview of the research to write a paper, a publication for a conference, or if you want to extend that into a journal, you can also use the same procedure of learning and writing. Use case, we will run with the importance of AI in the media or telecom industry as a running use case in this discussion. This will guide researchers through writing a paper on an AI idea. It does not matter which researcher you are. You can be artificial intelligence researcher, you can be data science researcher, machine learning researcher, computer science researcher. It depends on you. Abstract of the paper, we are to write. Let's say if we start writing a research paper right after this discussion, we are to make sure that we have a purpose or an objective that we would like to share with the reader or readers, an appropriate methodology that we have opted, results, findings, conclusions, implications, and significance of that research paper that we are about to write. An abstract of a research paper is a concise summary in reality that provides an overview in the very beginning of the paper of, and let's see what is purpose or objective. A brief statement of main objective or purpose of the research. This should clearly communicate what the study aims to achieve or investigate. Whereas methodology is a summary of the methods and techniques used in the research. This includes the research design, data collection methods, and analytical approaches. Results or findings are a concise presentation of the key findings or results of the study. This should highlight the most significant outcomes without going into excessive detail. Last not the least, conclusions or a conclusion for a research paper is a summary of the main conclusion drawn from the research. This should explain what findings mean and how they contribute to the field of study. Implications or significance of your study. A brief discussion of the implications of the research should also be mentioned in the abstract. This can include the practical or theoretical significance of the findings and any potential applications or future research directions. These elements together provide a comprehensive snapshot of the research paper, permitting readers to quickly understand the context, approach, findings, and importance of the study. Background research significance. Why background research even matters. So, unless this is a novel idea and no one has ever worked on this, and you have made sure that this is your idea and you would like to come up with an algorithm, whether it is artificial intelligence algorithm, recursive neural network algorithm, k-means clustering, or something else, you will need to conduct a background research study. What other people have done with these algorithms in the past. In the published papers, you have to read their work. The key areas to cover: current state of AI in media, telecom, for the running example that I'm sharing for a big telecom company which also runs media. Existing solutions and their limitations, whether that's AT&T, Spectrum, Comcast, Verizon. What are their existing solutions? What are their limitations? Identifying gaps in the literature, what people have shared, that they have found more or less on a certain given area that you are about to write a research paper on. The example here: research on AI driven customer churn prediction in telecom that you can take as the base example to run with this paper if you're going to write a research paper on this area. State of the art study, methods to conduct a state of the art study. You need to read, and read. Literature review. What people have said about Comcast, about AT&T, about Verizon, about T-Mobile, about Xfinity, and then research can go on, which people have already published. You can also read industry reports which are published on a certain area that you are conducting a research or study to write a research paper. You can also read case studies which people have mentioned on either LinkedIn Learning or on Medium or some other Wired, for example, the magazine, or Forbes, etc. Analyzing research of the recent advancement in artificial intelligence for customer retention can be an example that you can look into in more depth. Proposition. Clearly define your proposition. You make sure that you define that if it is customer churn, that exactly what you are willing to share with the audience to read your ideas, where you would like to make them realize that using your algorithms, how they can improve upon that. What problems are you solving? Take a smallest problem and resolve that first. Let's say you want to make people stay on a certain programming, NBC, MSNBC, Fox, or CNN, or CBS, or even Netflix, for example. How you would make these people stay at one channel when they are running a set-top box in their home provided by the media company or the telecom company. How does your idea differ from existing solutions? You might have a better proposition to keep the customers aligned rather than moving on, changing the channels, or changing even the service providers. Go from the Spectrum and move to the Comcast, or vice versa. Proposing an AI model to predict customer churn using advanced machine learning techniques is another area that you can also look into if you're conducting a study in the telecom or media industry, the incorporation of artificial intelligence. Then you have to share your early results, which you have created a synthetic data, or you got data from Kaggle and applied some of your research algorithms using Python, for example. Present preliminary findings with the reader, methodology used, whether you use k-means clustering or k-nearest neighbors or logistic regression. Initial data analysis, early results from implementing the AI model on the sample dataset from the telecom company, for example. If the people are leaving the company, why they are leaving? Is this the price is the main impacting factor for their decision, or something else, or lack of programming? Conclusion must have the summary of the key findings, what you have done, discussion of the implications of your results, how the telecom company or the media company can benefit from your research in this case, highlight the significance of your proposition, concluding the effectiveness of the AI model in predicting customer churn would be the end of your research paper, pretty much, before you go and share the future work for the reader to look forward to your upcoming publication. Suggestions for the future research, where you'll be heading with your current research, what you will be incorporating more, potential improvements to the current model. If you were using the standard regression, would you be going for logistic regression and incorporate time variance in it by putting ANOVA, or analysis of variance, in your research? Areas of expansion where the The reader can actually take your work and expand on top of it. Future work on integrating real-time data for dynamic churn prediction, where they can go with it. Last but not the least, you have to make sure that list of all cited work is appropriately given either in the APA format, MLA format, or IEEE format. They are all available on internet. You can Google them and you cite your background studies, state-of-the-art studies, and if you're using even a pictorial representation in terms of figures or tables, you must cite that also unless you made it by yourself. Happy learning. Hope this has given you some idea to how to write a research paper.